Hey everybody, it has been too long since I've made a video, but over the last 3 weeks, there's been really nothing that's that entertaining to video, like driving out to pump water pumps on our center pivot irrigation systems if they're running, changing oil. So today what I'm going to do is we're going to do a few more exciting things. I do have a circle broke down, so I got to go check that. We're going to see if some corn is dry. So I actually, you can see behind me our combine with the greatest accessory ever on a combine, and that is the K-State Power Cat flag to celebrate K-State football this fall. And we do have the combine. We've gotten the combine pretty well ready. It's put our corn head on. So this is the header that we harvest corn with. And so it's on. Some of that dryland corn that was the first corn I planted, if you go back to the videos, it's starting to get dried down. And so we tried a little bit of it. I've got a little bit in the truck. We'll haul that in here in a little while. But first things first, it's hot, and it's been hot. If you're here in Kansas, you know it's been hot, 104, 105. We had 2 weeks of 100-degree heat, and then it rained 3 inches. And then it warmed back up, and we've had another week of 105. Probably it's been 2 weeks since that 3-inch rain. And so we're needing another rain pretty bad. And we're really watering our soybeans. We need to keep the water going on the soybeans here probably for another, 3 weeks. And so kind of spacing the water out on some of them where we have a lower water allotment. But we'll take you along with us. So this pivot is not running very well. I've had a lot of trouble with it this year. If I can get over, it's just old. But the beans look awesome out here. I mean, look at all the pods that are filling. You can see all the pods down in here. And I mean, the pods are close together. So the irrigated soybeans are really looking good. I don't see a lot of insect pressure. Just lots of pods all the way to the tip of the plant and up and down it. And here I thought I'd show you some stuff. So you can kind of see a soybean root there. And I didn't do a good job pulling out. You see all these little bumps? You see that little bump on the plant? Those are called nodules. Soybeans are legumes, and so you can see all the pods on this plant. And they take nitrogen out of the atmosphere and they fix it into the ground. So we don't put much, if any, nitrogen fertilizer on soybeans because they provide it for themselves. So it's kind of a nice thing. Obviously, you don't have to fertilize them like you have to fertilize corn. I don't know what was wrong with this circle because I fired it up and now it's just working. That's frustrating. The ghost shut off. It's like somebody creeped out here and shut your circle off, and they're watching in a tree row to see why, just to laugh at you. To see you go out and try to start it and try to figure out something's wrong and there's nothing wrong. I swear there's goblins that shut the center pivots off sometimes just to watch you and laugh at you. This is probably one of our best looking fields, not right here, on the end of double crop beans. And thought I'd walk out here in them. They're just a growing today, starting to bloom. So you can see the difference. Those were the irrigateds planted early. These, they're still green. They're looking pretty good down the row. Got some dry spots in them showing up even in the mornings. But as I said, if we could catch a rain, probably a few insects chewing on the upper leaves. You see some holes. Nothing to worry about too bad, it doesn't look like. But you can see, if you look in here, you'll see some flowers and blooms, and there is a few pods just starting to form on them. Now I mentioned that full season beans. What we mean by that full season dryland beans is that this ground was bare, and then we planted soybeans earlier, late spring, early summer. So these were planted like in May. And I'm gonna do something farmers never do. I'm gonna show you the worst spot of the field, okay? So these, if you look at them, they're pretty dry. But you can also see there is pods. There's not a lot of pods, and they're trying to fill them. It's giving everything out in this field, especially through that real hot phase we had. There's a few, not a lot, but there's a few spots where it's just, they're just gone, you know. The beans are just gone. Now here's some more double crop soybeans. So these are drylands on this end, and they don't look too good. This is kind of a water hole though, but I thought I'd walk out here and take a peek at some of the irrigated ones. They aren't a lot bigger, but they are a lot healthier. Really, as I said, the double crop beans are looking pretty good. You can see, got a good stand. That's one thing. These are kind of a tall, upright bean, but we're starting to shade the row pretty good. A few more pods developing on these than the drylands for sure. See if, all right. Let's take this truck in. We got a couple things we got to do first. Get the air pumped up on it. As you can see in the window, there is corn inside the hopper for the first time this year. Said, I'm sorry I didn't take you long to cut the first 200 bushels, but it's a little stressful. So we'll get in the combine when it gets rolling a little bit. Just gonna get this thing pumping up. And it looks like we're ready to go. Go on up to the co-op and see what the moisture is for sure. Our truck, I don't know if I've ever been in this truck when I've been videoing, but it's coming, it's old, it's like a 90s model, kind of like a beer truck if you watch them. That's what really this is. The reason we bought it, the hopper holds about 750, but anybody can drive this truck in the family because we don't have a shifter. We actually have an automatic transmission. Some people call that cheating. I actually, the older I've got, I used to think when I was younger I liked to shift all the gears. Now it's so nice just to put it in drive and go. So you can call me weak, you can call me less of a man. I'm 43, I don't care anymore. So we got a moisture reading here at the co-op, as you can see. Got a moisture reading, 20 moisture. That's too wet. So no harvest today. Probably just need to wait about a week. And then all of that dry land down there will probably cut. But it's very variable. Like you got green stalks where the corn's really wet, and then you go through spots where it's really dry, where it burn up. So it's just good to know where it's at. Never hurts to try. And that was just a small sample. Know the combine works, all that stuff. Well, I was a little disappointing, but it's actually a good sign the corn's wet, because our dryland corn is actually pretty good. And I think the people around here that are cutting, for some reason they didn't get the rain we did or something, but ours is a lot better. So what I thought I'd do is I've had like some pretty cool requests through YouTube, and I had a person the other day said, why don't you just give us a rundown of equipment? And so today on the today I could do an equipment tour because I don't have much else going on. I won't hop into everything, but at least you can see the equipment we have. It is both old and new. Newer. We really don't have anything new. The combine is probably the newest thing we have. But start with the combine. And as you can see, we've got the 608C corn head on the front of it. That corn head's probably, I don't know if it's 10 or 14 years old. I don't know what year it is, but this is a 2018 John Deere S770 combine. We just got it, cut some double crop soybeans with it last year, but really this is its first full season. And it's probably a bigger combine than we actually need. We could have used the smaller size that John Deere has, but this one's tougher, and then it just makes us more efficient. With me having a full-time job at the church, being a pastor, it's great to be able to jump into a big machine and eat a lot of acres in a short period of time. Ethan's obviously still in school. My dad will help. We'll get family to help. I'll take a week off, but when it's go time, it's great to be able to go. And so that is the combine. And as I said, the greatest accessory ever on our combine so far is it was my little cousin Carter's idea. We need a K-State PowerCat flag on our combine. And so I bought a kit and we've got a flag. I'll just come in the barn now. You can see, we've got a Polaris 4-wheeler. That's my Uncle Bob's. We use it for irrigating sometimes. And the Polaris Ranger. When you're irrigating, you need ATVs pretty much. If you don't, some guys do it without, but for us, it is great to have. This is right here, this loader tractor you've seen us use. This is a 4250. It's about a 1981 or 82, so it is definitely older. We did put a brand new KMW 1750 loader on the front of it last year, and that has really helped it be a useful tractor. It really was running out of use. You've seen us use our 220 Patriot tender wagon to help us with soybeans and corn, and it works great for that. It's not big. I would like it to be a little bigger, but it gets the job done. Here's our drill. Now this is a piece of equipment that you guys haven't seen yet out in the field because we only plant wheat with our drill. Some guys plant soybeans with drills, but this is just a box grain drill. It's a 30-foot. It is a Great Plains. We just bought it brand new. This will be its third season of planting wheat for us, and it's a 3S300 HD. And it works great to no-till wheat into soybean stubble. It's really technically not a no-till, but it is like if you're going into light residue like we do, it works pretty good. I probably wish we would have spent a little extra money on the no-till coulters on the size up, but this thing gets the job done. We've had great wheat, and it gets good stands, and it works great. Now this tractor should be very familiar. This is the planting tractor primarily, but we'll use it for other stuff, some tillage and things like that. It's our 8285R, and it does a great job. It is a high enough horsepower tractor. It can do a lot of stuff, but yet short enough wheelbase where it's pretty effective at turning and things like that. So it's agile. It's got a lot of technology. You see the globe on the top. It's got the top of the brand new receiver, and probably not, the monitor was top of the line, but you know how top of the line is. It's not top of the line for long. Then we have our 1775 no-till, well, it's not a no-till. 1775 NT stands for narrow transport. So it's the way it folds up, and it is very narrow. It's a 12 row. We have equipped it with row cleaners and things like that. And so we no-till into everything with it. And it can do conventional till as well, but it's a central commodity planter. And it's probably, I think this was its 4th season. So we've got some decently new planting equipment, which is nice. because you need to have, planning is the most important thing really you do. I always say anybody can harvest, but planning is where most of the mistakes are made. And so you want your planning equipment to be very good. You also saw just a moment ago, this is our semi with a Alamega hopper on the back. As I said, the hopper holds, it's just a single axle, or it's a tandem axle hopper, but it's shorter, designed to go on a single axle tractor. And it's a Freightliner. It's early 90s, I'd have to go check, but it's got over 1 million miles on it. But if you're familiar with diesels and trucks, like, they'll do that. And actually, we don't put a lot of miles on them because most of our hauls during harvest, they're 5 to 10 miles at the most. So I'm gonna take you over to the other shed. You're gonna get to see some of the old stuff. You ready for some old stuff? Well, that's what's over there. Here we are over here at what we call the pole shed. And we got some old equipment around here. We got some newer stuff, but mostly old. Need to pick up some trash. There's our red Leon. I think Dad said that is a 19, maybe it's an 80. It might even be a 79 scraper. And so we do dirt work with it. You put it behind the tractor, you scrape with it. There's some of our old irrigation pipe. We're trying to get rid of that because we don't use it anymore. Here is our Demco. You've seen this in action, our Demco 850 grain cart. And it is hooked to our 8300. And our 8300, I believe that is a 94 tractor. And it's just been a good old reliable tractor. We actually had it overhauled and it works great. Then you've seen us. This is the header that we cut wheat with. This is our Draper header, and it's a 30-foot. It's a McDon FD 130. All of them have, and I love 30-foot width for what we do. You don't have to take it off all the time, but yet it's big enough that you can feed the combine. It seems to work pretty good. You've seen the 4720 sprayer in action, and that sprayer, Ethan was asking me, I don't have the exact year on it, but I remember when we got it, it was around, it's like an 04, 05, something like that. But if you take care of machinery, depending on the hours, it can last a long time. And we just had that sprayer gone through, and sprayers can last a while. It's got about 3,700 hours, which is not a ton on a sprayer. Now here's where we get to the older equipment. And this is a 4020. I believe it is a 70, made in 1970. And it runs really well. It runs off of propane. And we use it for little jobs, for blading, some mowing, stuff like that. Pull circles out with it if they get stuck a lot of times. Here is a 4010, older, from the 60s, and it is actually also propane. It ran when I parked it there, but I haven't ran it this year. I probably ought to try to start it sometime, see if it will actually run. And then hiding over there in the corner is the ancient of old. It needs some love. It'd be a beautiful tractor for somebody to restore. I think we intended maybe to do that, but we haven't done it yet, so it sits here in the corner. That is a 70, and I don't even know what year it is. It's I think early 60s, late 50s, and it had power steering. Like you can even see it says 70 power steering on it, and it's because power steering wasn't normal. That was something unusual. This is an old weed header, 30-foot, just regular. It needs to go to the junk pile. We've got some of that stuff laying around. And on the other side, just hides an old bush hog mower. I actually think if we fixed it up, it might be okay and work. That was actually one of my goals to do over the last month, but I never got to it. And that's really the equipment that we use. So we have a lot of other kind of implements around. You've seen, we've got a John Deere disc. We've got a John Deere field cultivator. I think you've seen Ethan use the field cultivator before we planted soybeans. I don't think we use the disc. We do not till. We do not use a lot of tillage. We do a lot of mostly no-till. We did some tillage this year just because we were working in some lime on some land where it was way overdue and we wanted to get it worked into the ground. But other than that, I'll show you the machinery line. These are kind of just the implements that we'll use every once in a while. You've got like stock choppers. You've got a little disc to do some deer food plots. This is our track filler. You go fill the tracks from the center pivots. And then this is just kind of to scrape the driveway. So that's kind of all of our equipment. And this is kind of the old original homestead yard you've seen us in. Diesel barrel. You know, it's just, we're not big. We don't have a big operation like some people, but we have enough equipment to get the job done in an efficient way. And that's really all that matters. I mean, and then trying to be profitable. So equipment is expensive. So we try to spend our equipment dollars in the right place. And nice equipment is nice, but it is also really expensive. But you also need to keep it up to date enough so that you don't have a lot of downtime when you really need to go. Now, one last thing before I end the video, you might notice all the green paint. Now the McDon header's not, but all the tractors and sprayers and combines are. And I know there's probably some people that are like, Case IH is good, AGCO is good, Massey Ferguson, which is an AGCO company, all these different things. Actually, AGCO tractors and stuff are made up in Heston. And why all the green? And we just say, because green is awesome. Like, we are kind of John Deere fanboys on this farm. We love green paint, and sometimes it makes us overpay for equipment, there's no doubt. Sometimes the parts are more expensive. My grandpa always said that, Grandpa O'Neill always said that if you ever went bankrupt and you had a farm sale, the green paint always brings more on the sale. So that's one of the reasons we've always bought it. But you just get comfortable with it. You get comfortable with all the technology and how all the technology integrates. And so everybody kind of picks a lane and goes. If you're red, you're pretty red. If you're Case IH red, that about everything you have is. And we've got a couple guys around here that are. If you're John Deere green, you're pretty green. Is green the best? All of it's pretty good. We kind of think so, or we wouldn't have green. And as you can tell, we're green from way back, 1950s. Green goes with everything. And what you saw on the combine is green actually goes with purple. And those are the two best colors, green and K-State purple. John Deere green, K-State purple. That's kind of what makes our farm go around. Well, I hope you all have a great day. It's still hot, stay cool. And we'll be harvesting corn pretty soon. Like, subscribe, share. It's been so cool to get feedback and just enjoying sharing the farm experience with lots of different people. So I hope you have a good one. We'll catch you later.